You come off a game and you are very vocal about what that game was with your
Mhm.
teammates and talking to the media as well. One of the things that has come up for you has been, pretty big role in terms of leadership fairly quickly with this Packers team. Why was it important for you to come out after that game and that loss and say what you did?
Um, I don't know. It's just on my mind. I'm a guy that a lot of times or all the time, really, I don't like to sugarcoat really anything. And I'm gonna tell it, exactly how I see it. And even before we played Cleveland and went to Cleveland, I spoke on the whole being 2-0 thing and just kind of our approach and how we should approach it. And that's how I felt going in. I said it, and even after the game, I was vocal about how I felt, about the game. Not just to the media, but even to the team afterwards. So I'm usually going to tell it how it is, and yeah, that's just how I am.
Talked with Calais Campbell this week, and we talked about his leadership. The guy's 39 years old. He's been in the league 17 years. He can sit at his locker at the beginning of camp. He's like Yoda. Everybody, the young players, are all coming over and talking to him. Your leadership, you're leading a room with a lot of guys who are just a little bit younger than you are. I mean, you're not a 39-year-old guy who's been there for 17 years. How do you navigate that?
Um, I don't know, just continue to be me, to be honest with you. I feel like, I've always been, a guy that's led by example. I've always been pretty vocal. So just continuing to be me. And then I would just say like, I'm not, like you said, a super old guy where I've been in here 17 years yet. But at the same time, I do have a lot of snaps under my belt, a lot more than, a lot of our guys. So just always making sure that I'm communicating with them just about the things that I've been through and things that I've seen are things that have, got me in the past and just making sure that, I'm able to, vocalize that, to them so that that way if it ever, pops up in their, situation, they know how to navigate through it or around it. So just continuing to be myself and knowing that, the other guys beneath me don't have as many snaps as I do. So I try to, any way I can help them, I try to, be vocal about that.
You said not 17 years yet. You've always had a big picture idea of this was going to be not just a journey, but a long journey and a
Mm-hmm.
successful journey. And, one day I want to slip on a gold jacket type of journey.
Mm-hmm.
How tough is that to do anytime you've got hurdles that are put in front of you? I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about coming straight on up. I mean, mom was trying to keep you as grounded as she possibly could. What's your
Mm-hmm.
plan B?
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep that big goal there, but not something that you're looking at every day when you're going through the everyday?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just taking it day by day. I'm huge on trying to. I'm really huge on trying to be a perfectionist. Obviously, I have my slip ups and I've had my, bumps in the road here and there, and I know that's what comes with, this career that I'm in, and not even just a career in life in general. Everything is not going to be perfect, but that doesn't mean I can't still strive for perfection. So, for me in my head, day by day, I just try to find ways where I can get be better than I was the previous day. And I critique myself very, very hard. I rarely give myself any passes. And, sometimes I may be a little hard on myself, but I think in order to get to where I want to, get to, and reach that status, I have to be that way. So I just try to keep that mindset every day. And I don't let nothing, distract me or throw me off from what my big time picture goal is.
He's one guy. He is a tremendous talent. How much better does Micah make your defense?
Yeah, he makes us tremendously better. Obviously, he's a guy that he's a game record, what we like to call. He's a guy you could place him on any team. You could put him on the worst team, and he's gonna make an impact on that team, and he's gonna make that defense and that team that much better. So, obviously, coming into to this situation here, we already had a really good defense, a really good team. And then he just added and he boosted, that even more. and just the leadership that he brings, his motor, his drive, just everything. Him as a being the person that he is, has been helpful for our team and our defense.
And of course, this week it's the biggest spotlight there could be, because when this just happened, and now you go back to the place that you used to call home, people are going to be asking questions. There's going to be people with the spotlight on you guys all week coming into this. Has he kind of tuned that stuff out?
Yeah, I haven't really heard him talk much about it. He's been pretty focused. Obviously, I've seen kind of the different things that he said to the media, but he's been focused, man. And I don't think he's, making it. Obviously, he has his own clock in his head, so I can't really. I'm not gonna speak for him, but from the outside looking in, he's been focused on our game plan and what we want to do defensively this game. And I know he's locked in, and I know he'll be ready to go.
You gobble up a lot of film. So tell me, as you're
Mhm.
looking at film, you look at this opponent, what are you seeing?
They got a really good team. Obviously, they're missing one of their big pieces in CD Lamb, but they still got really good players. You still got Pickens, you got Turpin, so you got a lot of different guys, that can be explosive with the ball, and when they get the ball in their hands, can be able to make plays. And then obviously you got somebody like Dak, one of the better QBs in our league. So they've always had an explosive offense. They've always been able to push the ball down the field. They've always been able to score at a high rate. So we got to prepare, as such. And like I always say, we'll be ready for the challenge.
How much of it is a chess game? How much of it are you locking in on Dak as they're coming out of the huddle and you're standing at the line of scrimmage? You've done all the film.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten yourself ready to be in the right situations. You're looking for keys. How much of that is a chess game?
Man, it's a big chess game. I think, whenever I go out there, I always think, you got the QB of the offense and then you got the quarterback of the defense. And I see myself as a quarterback of a defense playing safety. So for me, it's different things. I'm trying to show them, different things that I might not be doing or things that I might be doing and giving them different looks, showing them different disguises, just trying to throw them off just that much for us to be able to get that edge, or for me to be able to get that edge. So just playing that game within the game, and knowing that that's the competition. When you think about safeties and quarterbacks in this league, you have to be able to play a chess game with them. You got to be able to give them fake news. You got to be able to disco, show different things and play show one thing and play different things. So I think it's all collective, a group thing, and I just keep trying to do that every game I go into.
Last couple of things. You got there last year, and I don't know that anybody could have started any better. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know that a career in one town could have started better than yours did. And obviously, what you did over the course of the season was, it was all pro type stuff. When you have a season like that, you're a realistic guy. You know that you're not going to be able to take that probably and build it into something bigger than that. How do you set expectations for yourself coming into a year this year after a year like last year?
Man, well, I think it's always room for improvement. I think even off of last year's year, the All Pro year, Pro Bowl year, there were still things that I watched my own film, and I looked and said, I could be better here. I could be better in my zone drops. I could be better in the run game. I could be better in the pass game, playing deep part of the field. So it's different things that I really graded myself hard on, and coming into this year, that was really a focal point for me, was really locking in on all the details, especially being in the second year with half, being in the same scheme again, being with around the same players, just really locking in on the detail. And really, that was really about it. That's like my biggest focus, and knowing that once I do that, the plays will come. I'm not out here trying to chase really any plays. I know that they'll come, but in order for those to come, I got to be correct with my job. I got to be detail locked in, so that way when them opportunities do present themselves, I can be able to seize them.
You were an art major. You
Yeah.
have gotten involved in the world of fashion.
Hmm.
Is that a totally different guy? I mean, literally a completely different guy than the one we see on the football field?
It is. It's different in a way that it's the same person of how I work and how I carry myself. but it's two different worlds. It's the sports world and then it's the fashion world. So I think there's two sides. There's a lot of different parts to me. That sometimes I show, but then sometimes it depends on when I show it. But I always like to say I'm very simple, but I'm very complex at the same time. So you definitely get two sides of the story when you're thinking, for me, as far as sports and in the fashion world.
Last thing, I've worked in sports for a long time,
Hmm.
and I have talked about and to a lot of guys with your first name.
Oh yeah.
How do you go about deciding whether the X is pronounced or not?
Well, for me, the X is actually not pronounced. So it's funny because everybody always they say Xavier, but it's really silent. So the X is really silent. But I always kind of just I let it go. It is what it is. But yeah, I think that's the uniqueness to my name. A lot of times is that X is silent. I don't know if everybody else's X is silent, but I know for me, mine is silent.
Well, Silent X, Xavier.
Yeah.
Really appreciate the time. Thanks so much, and good luck the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.